Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG, we know as VP La Pew Pew, but you might know it's a lefty or a leaf blower. This one's on the west spawn of Airfield under the command of ProvoBob. Game on! Well, ProvoBob was in the military in Australia. Yes, he was actually part of the military police, and that's why his name is ProvoBob. He lives near Brisbane, which is a beautiful area of the country, absolutely stunning coast. And, well, he also gets to go to the museum that they've got down there, which has got loads of operational World War II vehicles, and it's getting more all the time because they're actually being funded by an extremely wealthy Australian who lives in the neighbourhood and wanted to have one of the best museums in the world, and he's got it. Okay, well, we're looking for a target, and any sight of an enemy tank destroyer sitting on that position at the moment, he's firing around here just to try and wake somebody up. Our Covenanter's just getting into a position where he might be able to spot anybody, but ProvoBob's blind firing in this direction. There is a Skoda T24 on the Temple Mount. And yes, I think these are just blind fires. He suddenly recognised that there is a Skoda nearby, but he's lost sight of him. Oh, he's come back. There he is. Now, these columns can be very, very unfortunate for the Arty players, but they can also be quite deadly for the enemy because, of course, you can accidentally get your Arty round, hit a column and knock it down. But also they tend to slow down the enemy tanks as they're moving between them. And there's an enemy shelf, so we know where one of the enemy tanks is. He's just behind the cap area. Okay, we're getting a bit of a... looks like there's a bit of ping going on because there's a bit of a stuttery effect on those tanks as they move. Yeah, I think we've got very, very high ping at the moment. Well, I think that's what caused ProvoBob to accidentally fire that round at nothing, because he was being pinged. But he gets a good hit, a penetrating shot on the BDR-G1B just as he pulls back. Go for another one. Rounds out. Oh, just to the right. And he's been spotted. There's an enemy tank who just saw him. Now that might mean the enemy Arty will be dialing in, so he needs to move. It's probably the Skoda T24, and yes, there's the enemy Arty shot, and it looks like that was a heat round. How do I know that? Well, it does make a green flash, or not a green flash, a red flash as it comes in, and it doesn't make a big explosion on the ground. It just makes a kind of, well, a small... virtually it's not an explosion, it just makes a hole in the ground, and that definitely did make a hole in the ground, so I think that was a heat round. But I think he's stopped firing at us because he doesn't know where we are now. Rounds out in the Skog. Oh, direct hit! No explosion, so we know we hit him. Go for it again. Rounds out. Is he still there? Yes, he's still there. Go for it again. Is he still there? Yes, he is, and now he's dead. 3 brilliant shots. Okay, so there's an enemy tank up here, a Wolverine. Unfortunately, that one missed him, but the A20 down below has got very thin armour, so he would make a lovely target. Tries a leading shot. Close, but no cigar. Oh, T1 heavy. Dial in on that guy. You can see that ProvoBob's usual selection of ammo is 5 rounds of heat, and the other 45 rounds are HE. He likes to blink away, and oh, that was lovely. 63 hit points. There is still another A20 out there somewhere, but ProvoBob's now got 2 kills. Oh, and we just saw a heat round fired by one of the enemy Arty, and that kind of suggests that that's the gorilla that's firing those rounds, because the enemy team does have a gorilla. Now, rather than actually being heat, I think that's the armor piercing rounds that you get on the gorilla. It could be heat, actually, for that matter. I think it is. on that particular Arty. Trying to hit the T67, who might be in this corner. Nope, didn't get it. And now we can see the T67, he's over here. He moved. So he's now been seen near the enemy cap area. There's an enemy Arty sitting directly behind the cap. The gorilla's actually just located behind the cap. But oh, now the Skoda is on Temple Mount. The BDR down at the base of it. Rounds out in the Skoda. Just missed him. Didn't dial in fully. Okay, you can get him. Rounds out. Yes! He got him. That's his third kill. Okay, the other BDR is over in the north. So there's one on Temple Mount in the centre and one up here. There's the Wolverine again. He's popped his head out to try and get a shot. We're dialing in. Rounds out. This should be accurate. Oh, it narrowly missed this turret and landed right behind him. Go for it again. It's worth it. And he killed him out stone dead with the next shot. That must have either penetrated the armour and wiped him out or landed in the cockpit. So he's now got 4 kills. Okay, there's that A20. Go for the BDR. Rounds out. Right next door to him. Come on, you can do it. Rounds out. Looks good. Oh, so close to the BDR. 12 hit points. And the kill shot comes in from the AT2. Rounds out the A20. No, wasn't fully dialed in. Let's hope he can hit this T1 heavy. Otherwise our AT2... Oh, AT2's gone. But he does hit the T1 heavy for 159. Rounds out. Miss. No, he hits him. Direct hit. I thought for a second he was going to miss it because the guy just pulled in just in time. Now that BDR is very badly damaged. So if he could put a shell through him, I think that was a bit optimistic. That Skoda looks a good target because he's very low on hit points. No, didn't fully dial in again. Let it settle before you shoot. Rounds out. That looks better. Yes! This time it was right. So now 5 kills. 1 short of getting a Top Gun. It's going to take a few rounds to kill that T1 heavy. Rounds out. That's going to miss. Oh! I was wrong. RNG said yes. And it hit the T1. I'm hearing the shells whistle by from the enemy Arty, the gorilla. He's still there. And that A20 just took a bit of a hit as well. But we're now 1 down on the enemy. Some of these enemy tanks, by the way, are bots. That is a bot because he's got colons before and after his name. Doesn't necessarily mean they're easier to kill, because sometimes bots can be very, very difficult to hit, and sometimes they can be outright crafty. Okay, BDR fires blind. Oh, and he hits him again. RNG said yes, and the shell veered to the right and hit the BDR. Unfortunately, he's not there anymore. Okay, we've got a Panzercepstfallerfetter via C, the Death Toaster. He fires snap and it doesn't work. You need to dial in. If you do hit those things, they do tend to go up fairly quickly because they have very thin armour. And there's the enemy Arty firing in our direction, I think. Oh, BDR provides the Top Gun. So 6 kills now. There's only 4 enemies left. Doesn't necessarily mean it's over. There's the Death Toaster again. Went till he stops. Oh, he fired. Oh, he did get a good one. 118. He did estimate where the guy was going. He's trying to work out where he's headed next. Rounds out. Nope. Okay, he's going to have to leave the target there, but he's on the move. Difficult to work it out. Nope, didn't get anything off that. We've only got one tank guarding us at the moment. It's a bathtub. Oh, be careful with your rounds now. You've only got 8 rounds left. 3 HE, 5 heat rounds. So don't fire blind, whatever you do. Wait until you see the whites of their eyes before you fire. Now, I think the best thing you could do would be to support the enemy tanks in the north. Yep, he's doing that. Because that T1 Heavy is still around somewhere. T1 Heavies have 75mm guns, but they do have very good frontal armour. Okay, Bob's telling the T67 where he wants them to go. There's the T1. He's just sitting there in that corner. Bob's got no shot on him. There he is. He's moving towards our guys. All that Churchill's under fire, and I think he's under fire from either the Death Toaster or the T67 took him out. It was the T67, and now our T67's moving in the same area, and he got racked by that T67. So now we're down to just 2, the bathtub and ProvoBob, and he's firing blind, and he doesn't have the ammo left. He's only got 6 rounds. Bob, conserve your ammo. He was doing so well, but now we're very short on ammo. We're outnumbered 2 to 1. I think Bob needs to find a better firing position than this one. I'd go up on top of that ramp there, just to his left. There's a possibility the enemy T67 is headed this way. Oh, that's probably not a good idea to go low. I would go up on the ramp rather than below it. I think he's anticipating the T67 or the Death Toaster are headed this way. And he'd kind of like to kill one of them with a face-to-face encounter. And you can certainly do that with this Arty, because basically it's a heavy tank with an artillery gun mounted on top of it. So if an enemy tank gets too close and they try to ram this thing, they usually come a cropper. And one of the enemy tanks has gone into the cap, and we did lose the bathtub. Or did we? No, the bathtub's behind us. He's abandoned the cap. And we're aiming towards the cap area. Now, if he'd gone up onto the ramp, I think he would have found the Death Toaster fairly quickly. But now he's aiming for the other end of that road. There he is. It's the T67. Okay. Oh, and he takes out the T67 with a shot to the face. Unfortunately, we lost the bathtub to the Death Toaster. And now it's just the Death Toaster, the T1 Heavy, and their Gorilla. And they do know where we are, but they just can't see us at the moment. They know we're in the vicinity. They saw the T67 take one right to the mush. And there's the T1 Heavy. He's coming in. This is going to be difficult because that tank has got very good armour. And Arty's firing in our direction. Ah. Well, he took one big shot from the T1 Heavy. Finished off ProvoBob. Well, despite the fact that this was a loss, it's still an ace tanker game for ProvoBob in the 105 leFH18B2. Very well done. He did get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 20. He got another high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And this time round, he got a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. In fact, he was 1 short of getting a Radley Waters in this game, because he ended up with 7 after he killed the T67. If he'd been able to take out the Death Toaster, that would have given the Radleys as well. But I don't think he stood a chance of taking out the T1 Heavy. So long as the T1 Heavy had his front to him, that's the heaviest armour on that tank, and they're both heavy tanks, so basically he just would have driven up and shot him right in the face on the gun shield. But it was a very good attempt. 6,894 win rates, that's Super Unicum and quite a bit more. And he was the last tank alive on his team, so he fought to the bitter end. Very well done. Let's have a look at team score and see where he was. Well, he did get 2,193 hit points, and that gave him the high caliber. The top gun he got from the 7 kills. On the enemy team, their top scorer was the Death Toaster with 1,939 hit points. The T67 that he killed got 1,757 hit points. And the fourth highest damage I should say, in the game was the T1 Heavy with 1,270. So he was up against some pretty good opposition, and 2 of the best tanks on the enemy team finally got him. When it came to kills, ProvoBob had the highest with 7, as I said, 1 short of a Radley's. The next highest was the Death Toaster with only 5, but it is 1/3 of his team, and 3 kills went to the T1 Heavy. And when it came to kills, to base XP, it's the enemy team who comes out on top, because the Death Toaster got 884 out of that one, and the T1 Heavy got 789 and killed ProvoBob. But ProvoBob was the very next one in line with 763. So even though he was on the losing team, he performed so well in that one that he actually got the 3rd highest base XP in the entire game. Let's have a look at detail. He fired 47 rounds, so he still had 3 rounds left, and all of them were heat rounds. 17 direct hits on the enemy, 5 penetrations, so he was really rocking it on the penetrations on that game. 19 splash as well, 2,193 hit points, of which 1,984 were at more than 300 meters, so some close-in action on the T67 and the others. 4 hits received from the enemy, 3 penetrations, 1 non-penetration, 115 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 11 enemy vehicles were damaged, 7 killed, and 34 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 45,000 from the game, 22,500 personal reserves, 6,075 for courageous resistance. That's because he got an epic or battle hero medal in a losing or drawn game. 73,575 credits altogether, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, he took away a profit of 58,774 credits. And that's the sort of score you'd normally get from, say, a tier 6 Arty on a reasonably good game that you won. He got 1,144 XP, 640 for this courageous resistance, 714 for this being a premium vehicle, 1,785 for personal reserves, a total of 4,284 experience points altogether. So a great performance in that one. It's pity it was a loss. In the end, I don't think there was much that Bob could do. Again, I think towards the end of the battle, he seems to be doing a lot of blind firing. When his ammo count gets low, he really ought to be a little more careful about his shots. I think if he'd fired HE at the T1 Heavy as he was approaching, I think it might have been easier for him to actually stop the guy and at least keep him at a distance as he was firing those last few rounds in. The heat rounds will go through the armor, but obviously you need to get the hit at the right angle in order for it to make it work. And in the end, I think that T1 Heavy just got too close to ProvoBob, and that's how he managed to get the kill shot. But it was a great game. It's an ace tanker, and never refuse an ace tanker. So well done, ProvoBob, proving that you can do it when you want to. I think your technique is getting much, much better though, because you are dialing in on targets, fully dialing in, and then getting accurate kills. Because you wiped them out, just like you killed that Wolverine with a beautiful shot, fully dialed in, over the long shot over the battlefield, took him out hiding behind his rock. Lovely. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.